Hey everybody, and welcome to this video. The topic is going to be electron configuration. So let's just dive right in. Take a look at this element right here. We have argon. If you find argon on your periodic table, you're going to notice that it has the atomic number 18. If you review, you know that the protons and neutrons are going to be in the nucleus and that the electrons are going to be on the outside. Today, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to analyze diagrams related to the Bohr model. We're going to be able to write electron configurations, including the noble gas shortcut, and we're also going to be able to identify elements based on their electron configuration. First of all, let's just go ahead and fill out the first part of your notes, filling in where the protons, neutrons, and electrons are found within the atom and what kind of charge they carry. This is going to be really important in understanding today's topic. This type of depiction of the atom is what we call a Bohr model, and all the Bohr model is showing the electrons that are existing at specific energy levels surrounding the nucleus. So in this case, we're really focusing on the electrons that are within the energy levels surrounding the nucleus. Electrons only exist at these levels, the very distinct levels right here, and the energy levels are referred to as their shells, and the number of shells referred to their period number. So for example, using argon, you can see that there are 3 rings around the nucleus, meaning that there are 3 shells. And this makes sense because argon is on the 3rd period on the periodic table. So because there is energy involved, electrons will fill the shells nearest to the nucleus first, where there's the least amount of energy, but it cannot have more than 8 electrons in the outermost shell. You may have recalled that these are what we call valence electrons. So let's just go back to our model right here, argon. So in the first energy level, the electron shell here is going to be called S. And if you can count right here, the S, there are only 2 maximum number of electrons in this first shell. When we move up a level, energy level 2, we notice that it's both S and P shells in this level for a maximum level of 8. Again, S holds 2 electrons right here, but P is going to be able to hold 6 electrons. And on the outer level, now we move on to the 3rd level. Now we have another S pair right here, and P, the P shell is going to be able to hold 8 electrons. The whole point of this Bohr model is a way of depicting elements based on the structure of their electrons. It's another way that we can figure out what something is made up of and how it's going to react with other substances, which is the basic foundation of chemistry. So moving right along to these outer electrons, they have a special name called valence electrons. And all they are electrons in the outermost shell. These electrons are going to be really important in determining what kind of reactions these atoms are going to be able to have with other atoms. Elements in the same group, they act the same chemically due to the same number of valence electrons. Let me go ahead and shift this video real quick so you can see. Have the same number of valence electrons. You should have already put in your periodic table that group 1 here, all of them will have 1 valence electron, group 2 have 2, then you go here to group 13 or 3A, which has 3 valence electrons, 4 in group 4A, 15 has 5, group 6 is 6, 17 has 7, and the noble gases are going to have 8 except for helium. So moving on to another model, electrons, because where they are, we don't really know where their exact location is because they keep on moving around the nucleus. So the best that we can do for now is we can figure out where their probability zones are, called orbitals, because again, we can't know exactly where an electron is at any given time. Orbitals, not orbits, orbitals are just the probability maps of where electrons could be. And we'll just take a look at these little shells and these orbitals right next. So in quantum mechanics, each level, each energy level each level is going to be referred to as a principal quantum number. N refers to the energy level, which refers to the number of shells. So if n equals 1, this is going to be the first and lowest energy level. It's also going to be the one closest to the nucleus. If n equals 2, then we move up an energy level, and this is going to be a little bit of a higher energy. So with orbitals, we actually have 4 types in the atoms. There are 4 types titled S, P, D, and F. And the way these orbitals differ is by the number of electrons that they can hold. They are also in order of increasing energy levels. So S orbitals can only hold 2 electrons. P orbitals, sorry, can hold 6, D can hold 10, and F can hold 14. These sub-levels are going to determine where electrons can be, and this is just another way that we can identify elements. In your periodic table, looking at the different atomic orbitals, S, P, D, and F, they actually correlate to different locations in the periodic table. Groups 1 and 2 are going to be S. Groups 2 to 6, or 3 to 12 will be the D block. Groups 13 to 18 will be the P. And here at the bottom, these are going to be our F blocks. So, orbitals. Electrons fill orbitals in a way that minimize the energy of an atom. There is a specific order that electrons have to follow in order to minimize the amount of energy. And why do they do this? It's because saving energy creates stability. And if it's high energy, that means that atoms are unstable and will react more spontaneously. So that's not a good thing. So you'll see that these numbers here correlate to the principal quantum numbers. You're starting at the lowest level 1, and it can hold 2 electrons. Then we move on to the next level 2, where you can have 2p, etc., etc. So let's take a look at how you actually order these. So the order of the sublevels, so I want you guys to write these in your notes. The first one has to start with 1s, then you start with 2s, then 2p, then you go on to 3s, 3p, 4s, and I want you to note here that 4s is going to come before 3d just in terms of their energy levels. So this is going to be really important when you're writing your electron configurations. So where did we stop? 3d, 4p, 5s. The way that you read this, you start at the top, follow the arrows, and then keep on going down. And this is going to tell you how you can order your electrons. All right, so now here's the nitty-gritty part of writing the electron configurations. All electron configurations is a way to show how electrons are ordered in an atom, because it's going to be specific to the way that their orbitals are going to be filled. So let's take a look. Step 1. You're going to find the total number of electrons. We're going to take chlorine, for example, and while you write this in your notes, go ahead and write down the atomic number of chlorine. How many protons and electrons does it have? Step 2. Determine which orbital will be the last to fill. We're going to be dealing with a neutral chlorine, so we have to start with 1s, 2s, 2p6, 3s2, and then you count how many electrons are left. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2p5. You're going to fill in the orbitals in order to reach a total number of electrons. And so in this case, these orbitals, you're going to start filling in the electrons inside each orbital. Again, remember that S only holds 2, P holds 6, and then they increase by quantum numbers. And again, if you need practice with any of these, I'll be around, no worries, and we can figure these out. There is a shortcut too, because if you try to find SB, that's going to be a really, really longhand way of doing it. This is going to be the electron configuration all the way to the 5p level because it's in period 5. The way that you would do a shortcut now is if we use something called the noble gas configuration. And how you use the noble gas configuration is you just use the last noble gas from group 18 before the atom. Take a look at where chlorine is, number 17. The last noble gas, which is going to be on period 2, is going to be neon. And how you can shortcut this electron configuration is by putting it in brackets, so put neon, and then just continue on from that point. So after neon, it fills the 3s2 shell, then 3p5. So now let's go ahead and pause and practice. I want you guys to understand that this part is when chemistry is starting to get more difficult. So it really requires paying attention and asking for help when necessary and listening to the practice problems in class and trying these out by yourselves. As always, please thank you for watching this video and go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel.